Hello, hello. This is Hiroshi T, and I would like to make a guide on how to make build. Now, I see a lot of people who have posted builds on Reddit, on Discord, with seemingly no regard for how many buildings per resource they should have. It's like they don't even test it or look at the math. Now, I personally love to math everything, but I know a lot of players don't like to do that. So let me make a guide on how to figure out how to make decent builds that aren't overbuilt, aren't underbuilt for what they want. So let me create a custom game here. Okay, let me do a scrap to alloy maker as an example. So first thing you want to do is, oh, this is not sandbox. Let's redo that. Okay. Now we're in sandbox. Okay, that's a lot better. So, for example, let's do a scrap to alloy smelter. This is a really complex thing, right? Alloy smelters take copper, they take lead, they take silicon, they take titanium. A lot of intermediate products in that. So, what do you first do? Well, the first thing is get an alloy smelter, power it, drain it, and then surround it with item sources. So let's get a lead one, let's get your silicon, let's get titanium. Great. It's working. Now, what do I do now? Well, silicon's kind of easy to make, so what if I replace that item source there and do one silicon maker? Will that be enough to support it? Well, we'll find out. So let's power that, and then we wait. Okay, it seems to be running okay. Okay, it seems like it's short on silicon, even with this one silicon maker running. So I need another one. Okay, now we can see that it's starting to build up a stockpile of silicon. That means 2 can support 1 alloy smelter or a little bit more. Okay? Now, let's go further down the chain. Sand. Well, because we're using a scrap to alloy maker, right? We want to use pulverizer. And that will be fed by scrap. So let's get that in. And let's delete these sand sources. And we will look at our silicon smelter. Okay, it seems to be short on sand. But is that going to affect our smelter here? So let's clear out the silicon in the line and watch our smelter. And I can see it's short on silicon again. So that means I need another pulverizer. And let me use the distributor to feed this. And we will watch our alloy smelter again. Okay, it doesn't seem to be stalling on production. Therefore, this is enough for that. We have finished the scrap. Actually, we haven't, because I need to figure out coal. So how am I going to make coal? Well, I'll use a coal centrifuge, right? And that will be fed by oil. So let me put an oil source here. And I'm going to figure out a way to belt coal into this. Let me power this up, remove these sources, and see if this one coal centrifuge is enough to feed these. Okay, this is why we wait and why we look before we build more. We work from the top down. Have your main structure, feed it with item sources, then replace an item source with the factories that should build that resource. Okay, so it seems that silicon production is still enough with the coal being undersupplied to these. Or not. Let's wait a little bit more. Okay, so the answer is no. It's starting to run low on silicon. I can see the number in the stockpile dipping. So it's going to run dry eventually. So I need another coal centrifuge. Okay, so now we know we need 2 coal centrifuges. What's going to provide our coal centrifuges with oil? Oil extractor is usually the best bet here. Unfortunately, it uses sand. Now let's supply it with a water source and supply it with a sand source. And see if one oil extractor, sorry, I think I called it oil centrifuge accidentally. Let's see if one oil extractor can support 2 coal centrifuges. Well, looking at the coal centrifuges, the oil in them is climbing up. So one oil extractor is enough. So let's replace the water source with a water extractor. Will that be enough to keep the oil topped off? So I'm going to let the oil drain out. So I can start from 0 and then hook it back up. Let's see. The oil is climbing. So one water extractor is enough for these 2 coal centrifuges to be supplied with oil. Now, I already have sand here. Let's see if these 3 pulverizers can support this oil extractor as well as the silicon. Sand seems to be building up. That means the oil extractor isn't using it. However, I'm noticing that silicon is going down in the alloy smelter. Why? Because there's not enough sand left to go into the silicon makers. So I will need another pulverizer. Okay, sand seems to be building up again. Maybe. Sorry if you can hear the cat. It's around feeding time. Eventually this sand will fill in and that bare sand will go back to the silicon and it should be fine. Okay, now that the sand has backed up because the oil extractor isn't using all of it, silicon is now back online. However, we still needed to add that extra pulverizer to make sure that we had a slight surplus of silicon. Okay, so we have one item source completely mapped out from scrap all the way to silicon. Now, let's do the others. Okay, so let's grab some melters. Some separators, right? That will be our source of lead, copper, and titanium, right? So let's delete these. And get some sorting going on. Lead, titanium, copper. And anything that's bad, we incinerate it. I'll use the item void. And let's get a liquid source of slag. Now, will one separator be enough? The answer is no. It's pretty pitiful what it does. Right? It's stalling. The alloy smelter is stalling, it's lacking lead. Yep, it's not getting enough lead. So guess what? We add another separator. Oh, it's backing up. Let's drain the extra. So here we need an overflow to get rid of spare material. For example, copper is made in excess, so we need to drain that. Lead is still on very short supply. Let's add another separator. Throw it up here. Okay, let's see again. What are we short on? We're short on lead. It gets enough lead, it starts building, and then it stalls out. And I don't think the situation will improve with just these 3 separators. Oh, never mind. It's still stalled out. So let's toss in one more separator and watch. Lead not enough. Now it's good enough. It's flickered off. I'm looking in the bottom right corner, the information panel tooltip, to see whether it has enough lead or not. Now it seems to run out of lead for about half a second. We can call that a day and say, oh, this is enough. We don't need it to run all the time. I guess this is enough. But if you want to be, uh, it really depends on what you want out of your build. So for me, I don't like seeing this downtime because of lack of lead. So I'm going to throw another separator in. And will this fix it? The answer seems to be yes. Oh, it ran out of lead again. But the downtime is a lot shorter now. Now it's like a split second where it runs out. Let's add one more separator. Seems that lead is still short. Just barely. Now I think I'm reaching the limit of this titanium belt. Yeah, it can't support any more separators. The belt backs up. As you can see, this separator can't output everything onto the belt. So I can either think I can add more belt, or I can say this is as big as I want it. I'm okay. I'd rather have the alloy smelter be a little bit low on lead than have to create another titanium belt and distribution for it. Right? So let's say this is good enough. Okay? But this is kind of a mess here. So let me just restructure it so it's easier for me to handle. Because I still need to figure how many melters do I need for all these, right? So let's try one melter. We can see slag is flickering here. Not all of them are spitting up, so that means we need another melter. Okay, are these building up slag? No, the bottom one's not even running. Oh, this is lacking power again. Okay, they're all spinning now. But could we do better? Let's try one more. Okay, we're building up slag now. So it might be 2, it might be 3, maybe in between. Okay, so that's as good as it seems to get, right? Now let's miniaturize it. Let's rebuild it. And see if it runs the same from scratch. and let's see how it runs. And it seems to be running as expected. We're a little bit short on lead, but that's how it was up here. And there you have it. You have some rough numbers to figure out how to compact your build. Now you just need to figure out how to jigsaw all these pieces into something small like this. Right? So eventually, you'll get the numbers right. You'll figure out the minimum amount of building you need for what you want. And then you can shuffle everything around and fit it into something that actually looks nice, something that works. Right? This stalls out on lead, but that's how we planned it out. Anyways, this is Hiroshi T, and hopefully you can, figure out some nice designs for yourself using either math or this trial and error process, working from the top down, one item source replaced at a time. Hopefully you find this guide enlightening and you can draw a few lessons from it. Thank you for joining me, and until next time.